Since my baby left me, I found a new place to dwell. Let's play Sorcerian Episode 9, The Dark Magician. Jumping right into it this time, Garzy's taken over the Add to Life responsibilities, thanks to his new shield. And while this beam looks exactly like Icy Wind, it's actually Demoralize. It makes enemies run off the screen in terror, which is beneficial here because these spectators have a ton of HP. I can kind of picture the conversation the Sierra musicians must have been having at this point. I don't care what Ken Williams says. I don't care if he is Roberta's husband. I want to do jazz, damn it. I want to do Elvis. Circus music. Come on. I'm sick of this Japanese crap. Anyway, that's enough baseless speculation out of me. The story of this adventure is an evil wizard who was executed many years ago in Pentawa has come back from the grave, and somehow he's, I guess, threatening the kingdom? Well, apparently he hasn't done anything yet, according to the manual. Okay, we got him. He just threatened our lives. That's punishable. I'm trying to show off Rio's Become Air spell. Basically what it does is make you invincible for about 1 second, and unfortunately for us, Ghedis is also invincible for all of the seconds. So we'll be back to pick him up later. You probably noticed Garzy turned blue when he hit that trap a little while ago. That is basically mute status, and status effects in Sorcerian don't wear off, so luckily we did get his important spell off, and we just went through a secret door. This door is absolutely critical to finishing the adventure, and nobody tells you about it, and you can't really see it by looking. So critically, I think that is definitely this adventure's major failing. But in this room you have to defeat these Darkstalkers to get the dungeon keys, and I was trying to do that with Rio's Stone Touch spell, but they are immune apparently. I swear I had used it on one in the test run, and it worked. Try to remember this cryptic skeleton note for just a minute. What Stone Touch is supposed to do is just turn enemies to stone, the same way that we saw Garzy get turned to stone last episode. We could go through that strange dirt now, but we don't want to just yet. With the dungeon key, we can get into this door in the upper right part of this room. So I don't think we have the whole message yet, but it seems to be something about stepping between gold pillars. Well, we've met our ally for this adventure, the Old Mage Orza, and he'll play a much bigger role than Princess Bibi did. And this song fucking rules, by the way. Anyway, at this juncture we want to head back to that strange dirt wall. Break on through to the other side and pick up this Moonstone, which we'll be using shortly. We're now back in the room we started in, but in the upper area that you can't access normally. Since the spell on Orza's cane seems to be pretty ineffectual against most of the monsters in here, I'm gonna switch to whatever it is he has on his robe, and I wish I knew because it's tight. His spell is the orbiting stars, and the stars shooting out in all directions is lightning, which is coming from Rio, and is also ineffective. With the Moonstone on this altar, we can then go through this door, and I assume we also need Orza with us to speak the transportation spell. We've already found another stone, and Garzy has received another status, so at least he'll be easier to see now. These must be the pillars we were reading about, so I'll go ahead and step down in between them. What poison is doing to Garzi, though, is preventing him from getting any HP back through any means. The route through this Cuttino area is basically just a linear path, and most of the doors are even one way, they close behind you. Another magical elevator beam here. These enemies are gargoyles. Take note of our surroundings here. Kind of the pyramid shape above us, and the pillars to either side that extend down below. We're headed back to the teleport room to try out this other stone. Just the star stone for now, but we'll be using both stones in just a couple seconds. So the Dios area is even easier to navigate than Cuttino, but we are below that pyramid thing from earlier, and we did lower it. So we'll have to head back there soon and see what's available. For now, teleporting with both stones takes us to this foreboding area. The Lair of the Blue Dragon. His lightning attack scorches the ground, and even though he drops down a bit to breathe it, it's not quite low enough for us to jump, so luckily there's platforms back here. It turns out he can blast those as well. So this turns out to be a really cool boss fight, actually. Probably my favorite of the game so far. Even if he does blow up all the platforms, the back half of the room is a little bit higher, so I don't think you run out of ground to kill him from. Still not all that difficult. After you beat him, though, you can get the steel sword from the back of the room. I believe this part is totally optional. Now though, since the pyramid is blocking the path from the first room, we actually need to go through Cuttino to get back to that area. Kinda cool to change the map mid-quest in that way. This plaque seems to hold the rest of the skeleton's messages, and if you didn't do the switch between the pillars, at this point there would be a wall here. Now that we have the sunstone, we could go fight Ghedis, but getting the sunstone also triggers the post-quest loot to show up, and we actually need Orza in our party to be able to grab it all. There's 3 items in all. The first one is the quartz shield in the Dios area, and then in the Cuttino area there's the fire rod and the silver armor. Just for the sake of getting all the magic out of the way, I'm going to use Shaggy's Acid Storm spell in this room. The snakes in here are the only thing in the adventure that seem to be affected by it. So yeah, not all that impressive. Nothing left to do now but kick Ghedis' immortal butt. I do have a potion of Protect though, which will turn out to be kind of a bust. It seems to look and act just like Shield from Episode 1. I wanted to make some kind of attack potion again, but Savory is the bottleneck now instead of Hyssop. Overall, I have to say I really like the writing and general feel of this adventure. It really has a classic D&D feel. It doesn't hurt that it has a bunch of beholders floating around either. The fight with Ghedis hasn't changed since before, although it still looks like Garzi isn't doing any damage to him. It may be that you actually have to touch him with Orza, because I've seen this fight go a lot faster. Pretty hilarious that you kill him for 2 XP, but you're then granted 1500. But once Orza's work is done, he disappears, and as my work is also done, I'll disappear too. Is it just me, or are these getting shorter? I'll see y'all next time on the Cursed Ship.